gentle and friendly reminder that you are a yummy lollipop. And today we're getting the incentive token details. The PulseX incentive token is not for me and you because we want to win. And not just like win a bit, we want to win a lot. The PulseX incentive token is going to be handed out to all the degenerates, all the liquidity providers who want to come and play the game. Now, look, if you're going to try this, friends, it's okay, but I want you to understand, you are not going to retire or get wealthy or kill in this game by chasing yield farming and these little yield games, chasing these little stimulus programs. You don't make it. Retailers do this. Retailers keep chasing the yield. Retailers want that passive income. They want a safety perception in their mind. But retailers have one flaw. They always seem to underestimate the long-term ramifications and competition of whatever there is they're investing. They always assume, okay, I'm getting 40% yield. I just got to do this for 5 years and it works out. But then eventually, Bitcoin and Ethereum crash down somewhere and it resets their yield. And now their 40% down to 3% and they realize, oh crap, my yield came from people buying this coin. This is the harsh truth. With PulseX and the incentive token, it's going to be cool and juicy. But remember, I've got to stress this. This is not for me and you. You can play around if you want, see how it works. But don't think that you're going to make it from this. You're not. And the beautiful part is I can yell and scream about this all day long. I already know what's going to happen. Okay. The next 1 million people coming in have absolutely zero care about what I say. They are going to come straight for this. Ricardo Corazon knows the game. This is a strategy for war. This is one particular strategy. We are going to war, friends. CoinMarketCap has over 22,000 coins. You know the real number is actually over 50,000. It will disgust you. You have to stay relevant, right? Look, I'm not joking. This number is over 50,000. So I've even told you, you want to do deep value investing, baby dolls? This is where you actually win. In 24 months, you will appreciate my gift to you. I put the puzzle piece together here. I give it to the people. Over 23,000 coins, more like 50,000. It's going to be 100,000. But they all choose to speak about Hex and they criticize PulseChain and PulseX, which aren't even released yet. Rare. This is rare. You don't get this often. In fact, we're lucky to get this once a decade to even be able to spot this. So I don't even care if it goes to zero. I can put my head to the pillow knowing that all the signs were here and it is what it is. So PulseX's liquidity token, right? The incentive token. Details, right? It's going to give 1 incentive per second, 31 million per year. So the inflation starts high, then it tapers off. It will only go to double-sided liquidity providing. So the goal is to promote liquidity for the pToken pairs. Do you know what the juicy part is, baby doll, baby cake friends, and chocolate cupcakes out there, and of course, yummy lollipops? The degenerates have both of the coins already. Oh my God, what an epiphany. If you have ChainLink, which I do, you have ChainLink on Ethereum, and then you're going to be airdropped to the other side. Wow, wow, what's going on here? I'm speechless. I'm stuttering. Think about everybody else. P-Mana, P-Sand, all these other ERC20s. Everybody's going to have both the coins. All they have to do is come into the ecosystem. Come in and participate. This is a unique way to stimulate, and not that type of stimulate. When they do airdrops, it's usually a one and done. Retailers and paper hands, which are the same thing, they take their money, they dump and they walk away. They're like, wow, $500? But they never think, okay, how can I turn this $500 into 50K? They don't think that. But when you force them to sit here in the PulseChain ecosystem, in PulseX, liquidity farming, jump through some hoops, and you hand out money to them over time, you are bribing their attention in a very unique way. You and I, my friends, we don't need this because we already know we're in before everybody else, so we don't really care. But it's interesting to see how this plays out. This is war. There are a certain number of coins which keep growing every single day, and we have very limited attention. That's it. There's no ifs or buts about it. You have limited dollars in your wallet and you have limited attention span. You can't give everything everywhere. You can't give it your all. So this is what happens. Ricardo has to pull out the big bazookas. What I love about this is I've spoken to many people who I would consider very intelligent, smart. They understand liquidity. They know, how to calculate a lot of different formulas. They know how exchanges work. And whenever I talk to them about this PulseX program, they all say one common thing. They say, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. It's not going to work. You're an idiot. And I'll say, you know what? You're right. Especially about the idiot part. You're right. But I'm going to be long anyway. So thank you. I'm not going to click sell. I know opportunity when I see it. You are given, friends, both sides of the coins already. So you're like, all they got to do is bridge in their coin. So if you have ChainLink on Ethereum, you just got to bridge it in and then you put it in and you match it with the pair. I will stress to you something super important now. This is not free, friends. This is not free for me and you. So don't worry about the degens. They're not going to listen to what I have to say. I care about you. On every coin, the liquidity is much, much, much thinner than you think. And I really do mean that. If you go back to my previous videos, you will know that all it takes to send a coin, that's right, to send the coin minus 90% down, you only need to sell about 3% of its market cap. This is just a rough number. Rough. It sounds so aggressive to you. It's actually 3%, but I'll just write 5% because I want you to please sit down, keep your back straight, keep your slippers fluffy. I know some people get offended when I say that. You can go do the numbers yourself. I have a video where I actually go and show you the real number. It's so disgusting and it will scare you. But this is the truth. So you got to think about everybody who gets their free pLINK, their free pMana, pShib, all of the ERC20s. There are the top 50 to 100 wallets who own a big bulk of the supply because basically every single coin in crypto is centralized as hell, except Bitcoin. And even Bitcoin's pretty centralized. So what can you do from here? You can't do anything about this fact. So when they get their P tokens, they can just dump it to zero and then keep dumping it and dumping it. But I think Ricardo and Greg, some might say, are one themselves in a unity bond. I think the strategy for this battle we're going in is going to blow your mind. You see, if I was a duck, and I'm going to get an emoji here. If I was a duck, what I would do is I would let PulseChain and PulseX obviously just launch. And this is the trading price at the start. And I would let the weak hands exit in the first 4 to 12 weeks. So the P tokens, most likely, I hope I'm wrong about this, they're only going to be worth like 1%, if that, of the real value on Ethereum. So if you had $10,000 worth of ChainLink, I think you're only going to have $100 worth of pLINK at the start. But the beautiful part is all those big whales who are scum for every other ERC20, I feel in my pointy elbows that they will sell their bags in the first 3 months. And they might send the P coins down like that. The ones who want to reveal themselves will do that. Because, see, we've had a nasty bear market. And you'll be surprised. You know how I came to this conclusion? Go look at Hedron. There are Hex whales with like $1.8 million of Hex when Hex was 2 cents. And these absolute dingleberries would like FOMO fear sell Hedron for like $4,000. Like, what the hell is going on with you? Are you that short-sighted? I think they have curvy backs, and I think their slippers are very crumpled when I think about it. How do you explain that? What is wrong with you? So this shows us, no matter how much money someone has, when the sentiment engulfs everybody and it ruins their guts and their courage, they'll just sell anything. It's disgusting, but it is what it is. But this is great. This is how we get ahead of the game. We need people to do this. This is how we win. It's funny they come and end up buying back much later with bigger sizes too. So those P coins, I think maybe pLINK will drop down. The big non-believers who go, because remember, they might have $1 million worth of link, right? So let's say they have 1 million in a coin on Ethereum, right? If you do 1% of that, they'll have $10,000. You've given them a free $10,000 airdrop. And we know what they did with Arbitrum. A lot of people sold. Same as every other airdrop and coin. So they might be like, oh, wow, I just made a free 10 grand. And that crushing of the price can send it down. And then once we've removed the non-believers, I think the real party starts. This is where the lights turn off. This is where they change the music, turn the windows, close the window blinds. This is where it actually gets exciting. I think Greg is going to flap his wings and quack his beak and do this. I really think that's going to happen, friends. So this incentive token is very important because it needs people in there for this all to happen. And it's funny, you throw this little carrot on a stick and people will come. So I know these are all theories, but you got to formulate this in your mind. Like, a lot of people ask me, why do you spend so much time thinking about these different scenarios when you're just going to buy and hold anyway? And I promise you, friends, you got to understand. How do you think people mess this game up? Everybody knows buy and hold. Have you ever come across somebody who has never heard the term, oh, buy and hold long term? Every single person knows it. They agree with it. They see the statistics. They understand it. But what do? They go and fumble their bags anyway. Why? Why do they fumble their bags, friends? Is it because their back is curved? Yes. But also, it's because when they see a new scheme that they haven't thought about, they actually believe this time it's different. And they think, oh, yes, buy and hold worked, but you never told me about this new scheme, so I'm going to go move my money over. And then they end up losing it all, fumbling it, and they have an unfortunate situation at the end. So that's why I'm trying to help you. Don't worry about the top 3% like me. I'm short-term day trading. I'm doing all this other stuff on the side. All of that irrelevant. This is the game we have to think about. So not only do we have this incentive token that's going to be handed out, then give people yield, people are going to think this is a new way, and you're going to have to wash out all those big whales holding the P tokens. Now you have a situation as well where PulseX itself, most likely not released, the token is going to be a governance token where it will actually be able to influence the yield, the handout rate for each coin. So the way it'll work, friends, this is the game theory. I'm surprised not many people speak about this. They always say this thing won't work, but I don't see why this won't work. Because you have your pLINK and your link, okay? So what you're going to have is you're going to have the PulseX protocol, and people are going to be voting. You're going to have your PulseX protocol, and people are going to come in from each community, and they've been given free coins. So you might have, for example, let's just use ChainLink, right? So ChainLink community. ChainLink community are going to be looking at their pLINK sitting here, right? They're going to be looking at it. And I know this is extremely, actually quite racist of me not to have the ChainLink logo here. So here it is, right? So this is the PulseChain, and we're going to have actually a little PulseChain logo because that would be also very It would be a homicide if I let this happen. All right, here we go. So when we have this observed by the ChainLink community, there are 650,000 holders and more on centralized exchanges, but remove them. 650,000 people. What do you think is going to happen if just 50,000 people start spamming the ChainLink developers, the community, saying, hey, we have value on this chain, you have to support it? They're going to yell in them. Yell and scream and say, excuse me, sir. You need to attend to this. We all have this token. We all have this value here. You should support it. Think about that. You know, there's more magic here too. People could start to speculate on the idea that maybe they go to parity one day and your bags actually double. I don't have faith for many coins hitting parity, but just the idea in people's heads is enough to spark something. Ignite imagination, friendship, sprinkles, peeled bananas, peaches, maybe you got some lollipops with some rainbows and fairies. You see how people are starting to think now? People are starting to get optimistic. Like, whoa, what if my pLINK goes even to half of the eLINK price? Oh, wow. And then ChainLink goes to $200. This all adds and feeds into itself. I want to quickly remind you again, the ultimate strategy at the end, friends, is to buy and hold long term. You will not be making your riches by yield farming and doing all this. So this is, I've got to remind you again, this is not for me and you, but it's cool to see this game. And if you want to play around with it with like 2% or 3% or 5% of your bag, play it out with some yield, you can do it. But you know, this is war, friends. This is not, we have to play serious now because we're going for bigger amounts of money. You have to compete with layer 2s, Phantom, Solana, BNB. There's not enough money to go around. Why? Why isn't there enough money to go around? It's because crypto only has a very small subset of actual use cases that the market will generally give a value towards. Layer 1 chain, you've got your DEX, for example, as well. We don't have heaps of these. We don't have the Uber yet. We don't have the Facebook yet. We don't have the Google search engine yet. You understand? There's so many others. We don't have those yet. We don't know when they're going to come. So for now, we're fighting amongst ourselves for this. This is what we have to do. You got to go with the best strategy. So this coin's going to inflate. You're going to be given to a double-sided LP. People are going to sit there and yield farm. And it goes deeper than what you're just seeing. You're like, okay, so who cares? All right, they get like, what, 20%, 30%, 40%, and then it runs out. You got to see the big picture. The big picture is you are forcing people to give attention to PulseChain. And with more eyeballs, the network effect will increase. Do you remember Greg's little example here? What do you think is going to happen? I just want to blow your mind right now. Right, you got this pLINK. Let's say you actually have the pLINK chart. ChainLink is like, it's $8 today. Let's say ChainLink is like 8 cents. Let's say ChainLink is literally like 8 cents because the whales dump it. I want to ask you, what do you think happens if somebody named Greg with a very nice beak decides to pump pLINK up to $10? I know, getting ahead of myself here. I know this sounds crazy, but look what's happened in the world of crypto so far. I'm telling you now, friends, when you go to war, you have to win. What I'm saying is, yes, I think Greg might have a plan to get some of the biggest coins over and their communities by doing such a circus like this. What do you think would happen? Like, I want you to think to yourself, what would your brain be like computing if you actually saw a P coin value higher than Ethereum? Because right now you're probably thinking this is 0% chance, it's impossible. But I just want you to speculate in your mind. What would happen to the rest of the crypto industry? It would ignite an enormous season on PulseChain. Ricardo knows what he's doing. He does. We didn't get here by accident. So many decisions had to be made to get here. And if you screw up once, you're done for. So I just want you to think about that. Like people think, oh yeah, it's just going to be 1% of the value and people yield farm. Nope. You're going to have everybody paying attention, and then you're going to have somebody who may or may not do some sort of value magnet into the P coins. I want you to observe that. And then what do you think is going to happen to those 650,000 ChainLink people? What do you think is going to happen when one coin P version flips its E version? What's going to happen to the other ERC20 communities? Imagine ChainLink flips it, for example. SHIB has 1.3 million people. You think word won't get around that, oh my God, the Pulse version of this coin flipped it because they're supporting it. And what's funny is they won't even need to support it, but if the price flips, the narrative will just change to they're supporting it. So just have a think. This is the game theory you got to go through in your mind. This is why I'm telling you, do not screw this up. You stay long and you stay strong. At the end of the day, all of these are guesses. I have ChainLink. I love ChainLink, but this is just a guess. I'm going to be holding on my P coins. I'm not selling them. I'm not selling because I don't like ducks. I don't trust them sometimes. Between you and me, so I'm not going to be a weak hand now. You shouldn't either. So you're in these. You know exactly what to do. We're in PulseChain. We're in PulseX. We're in Hex. Also, baby dolls, a lot of yous do not have PulseChain and or you don't have PulseX. You only have Hex. That's okay. That's all right. If you have any savings, this is what I will do. I would buy more Hex now. And then when PulseChain launches, I would rotate some of it into PLS. The Hex, right? The P-Hex into PLS and some of the P-Hex into PLSX. I'll just rotate them and see you later. Don't stress if you really want all the coins, you don't have them, because I don't see a world where only 2 of these goes up and 1 doesn't. I think they're all going to be linked financially, bonding, and psychologically and emotionally. I think they're all going to move up and down pretty much together. There'll be some ratio differences, but you get the point. So don't stress about it. Because this season hasn't even started. Like you want to get in when your friend Somi is talking about a P coin flipping an Ethereum version of the coin as a possibility. This is when you want to get in. And you can get in now. You can get Hex now. You are participating in this exposure and this idea. Because I promise you, if you wait for this flip to happen, it's going to be too late. Maybe Hex's price is 30 cents by then. I don't know. Maybe it's much higher. Maybe this flip only happens after Bitcoin's above 70K, after Ethereum's like 7K. So that's what we don't know. You never know this. Deep value investing. We have a little salty peanut brain. It's rolling around in our skulls. There's not much else there. This is all you do. You just do one move. You buy and then you just wait forever. That's why we're called peanut brains. So this incentive token, that's the real job it's going to do. This is not what you're going to hear from other people because what's everyone going to be speaking about? I even have this Microsoft Bing Explorer for you to show you. Yes, you can yield farm and who it is, you can form it together, but this is not where the money is. See these APRs? By the way, this is another retailer trap. See this 1,000%? I'm telling you, retailers want to see these numbers. They do. Have you ever met a retailer who retired off this, by the way? So let the trap be there. It's a trap. It's a trap. And it's funny. Everyone knows it's a trap, but they still come in anyway. So at the end of the day, you know what's up here. You know the game. We're going to war. This is a strategy for a particular type. Sometimes you need a different strategy if you're fighting in air compared to if you're landing on a beach. You need to do this. But don't forget your principles at the end of the day. Your principles are, we are here for deep value investing. Why? It has the highest ROI and the highest chance of success. I want that. And you want that too. You just got to wait. We watch the calendar, not the charts. So let everybody play this game. Let them fumble around. Once all the attention is on PulseChain and everyone's farming, I firmly believe in my pointy elbows that a P coin will flip the E coin. I don't know which one. I don't know which one is mathematically great, but somewhere out there. And please, when I say this, I don't want you to start thinking, oh, I'm going to try get that coin that flips it. No, that's too late. You get in to Hex now. You get into now. Why? Because if you assume P Hex is going to equal E Hex, then every Hex you buy, you're getting 1 for 1 already. Rather than taking the risk that you buy something, you buy ChainLink, for example, and then your pLINK is 99% down compared to eLINK, and then you hope at 100x's. So don't play the game on hard mode. That hard mode game is for degenerates. We already know the path of friendship and kindness. And some might say, you're staring right at it. Please confirm our friendship in the comment section. Like, subscribe, tell mum and dad that you love and appreciate them.